Inspired by Tommathan and the Overwatch addiction he sparked in me, I'm going over my Boblo team's most recent FACEIT match in the best and worst plays format. We spend the start of the season getting beat down like a Karin in a Waffle House by GM players taking out the frustration of a failed streaming career on us, but we start getting winnable games like this match against the Bouncers where we take Ilios 2-0, which is hard to believe because we got our ult economics straight from Ronald Reagan. We lost our first retake to close out the point using 3 ults to 1, and this visor reminds me of Gojo's advice because no matter how many allies were around, my soldier truly died alone, but that's still got nothing on this next play from Watched. My chud-ass Lucio gets possessed by Prime VJ Gon and drops the B entirely off the map. This is exactly why you don't sell your soul to the meta, because when a player isn't comfortable on Lucio, forcing it will have dire consequences. But to her credit, that death was so tragic it loops back around to being professional. Like she must have been studying those Violet POVs. This was less a mistake and more of a tribute. If you listen in, you can hear her typing, "I got money," after hitting Q. Don't sleep on this next play from Elo Reaper though, because after my aura forces both TP and Suzu from the FACEIT level 8 Kiriko, I drop down and no-sell the High Noon before weaving the Cassis Flashbang, and walking down the Zarya on point before donating my Blossom at 70 HP in a 1v4. But to be completely honest, I low-key see the vision. It's all good though, since our captain, Smartmouth, whips out the Reinhardt to run over the Zarya comp and clutch out the sub-map with the most nonchalant Rein 3k FACEIT level 6 has ever seen. And my Lucio stops taking perks and pulls up to force a C9 by hitting 2 big boops to prevent touches. Unlike the name of the submap, the second point doesn't start so well. When me and Watched are both picked off and our trades don't arrive in the mail until we've already lost point control, it's a hard fight back into it, but when Smart picks off the Genji and gaps the enemy tank in the lane fight, a path forward suddenly appears. I trade out with Blossom early in the next fight before the Lucio Cash App narrative gets another chapter, when the enemy Lucio boops High Noon behind his own Kiriko. Somebody please check his crypto wallets. During all this, Fonso, aka Jesus on Baptiste, keeps the boys topped up before putting down Annihilation. In the last fight, things look dire when Fonso gets deleted by Pharah shortly before I'm found dead in a ditch, but Neo trades out before Smartmouth shamons the enemy tank once more. It's a messy skirmish, but I pull up an OT to help with the cleanup and we somehow take Ilios in a close 2-0 fashion. After that decisive map win, the Bouncers target ban Reaper for Suravasa, and it doesn't seem to work out at first when we casually win the first fight when I attempt to prove that I'm not a Reaper one-trick. It's good news that we won the neutral fight, partially thanks to Jesus on Baptiste of course, since our comp's ult cycle is as threatening as an easy bake oven, but we soon learned that shit ain't sweet and we were saved by the map 1 sim ban when Symmetra pulls up to TP the Sojourn on high ground and rain Tesseracts on us for a 3k. In an attempt to not get DPS gapped, I stick my pulse in the wall like a missing poster and one-clip the Lucio. Going for the clip has its downsides though, because I end up hyperfixating on the Kiriko in a Kitsune rush. Toji, who subbed in for Watch, trades back against the Sim who got struck with a sudden case of amnesia, before living at 6 HP to recontest with Coalescence. The Bouncers easily kite off the point and reset resources while we get the flip, and they answer back with Beat plus Annihilation to run through our grab, and they win the first point after staggering Smartmouth. On the second point, their Sojourn goes crazy and I quickly realize I gotta get my ass off Tracer. I tactically trade out with Pulse Bomb in order to counterswap the Symmetra, and my Soj gets one and then immediately overheats, burning every cooldown in order to book a one-way flight to the spawn room with a layover in Arlington, Texas. The Bouncers go fast with an unmatched Annihilation and my captain starts trying to run through walls like he's a juggernaut. Loki, the Moira comp might not be it. On the third point, the Bouncers continue setting the tempo by playing first with Beat, and this kite attempt is so ass, my pathing looks like I'm taking a walk to get my mind off the DPS gap. We spin back and win a retake where we only use Cage Fight when Smart mows down 3 as Fonso antis the Soj, and I hit one of my top 5 most shiest final blows. They open the next fight with Lane, and while everyone kites back, Smart holds down the point, being kept up with Toji's Coalescence, but when the juice runs out, he's quickly ran over. This leaves us on last fight territory, where the Bouncers go fast with Beat to not even let us set up to use our ults, and Lucio runs my pockets to get back for that kill earlier, and I save my overclock for map 3. But between maps, Toji and I have a heart-to-heart, where he admits he's a fraud main support, and I just hit him with that mob psycho I've always known. So Watched is back for New Queen Street, where she immediately trades her life for 6% ult charge, and my tech to save my ult for map 3 doesn't work since I just swapped Reaper now that he's unbanned. All good though, since with the Ram ban and Sim being struck down by a higher power, aka Jesus Christ on Brig, I waste no time getting active, TPing into the backline but get both my Wraith and my pockets ran once more by this Lucio. Why is he low-key on my ass? Gapping the DPS on main support and building a beat in 1.5 minutes gets to his head, so he runs up on the Smartmouth33 after beating nothing in particular and gets deleted. Now compare this to our main support, Fonso, who escapes a precarious situation with a clutch whip shot onto Zarya. I don't care if I'm doing tricks on it, they just move different. We turn on the bouncers with Downpour and Rally for a swift cleanup, and the next fight takes place at the checkpoint. I refuse to get fondled by both supports, so I solo Blossom the Kiri to assert dominance, as Smart sustains off a hacked health pack to clean up with Neo and secure the checkpoint. But we can't celebrate for long, because before the robot can even move again, that broken ass character Sim TPs the whole squad out, just to get packed up by Fonso. The writing is on the wall at this point, and we start getting devious. Watched baits the Orisa to run up on the defenseless Kiri and get some free cooldowns, just to get boxed like a fish and passed around like a frisbee by the gang. Before the ops can even think about trading, Smart dives onto the Freya, tanking the take aim, and with African synergy akin to fiber optic technology, I TP on her for the finisher. As we enter last fight territory, Smart deletes the Freya again and locks the D.Va up, this time literally, as Watch denies the trades with a Suzu onto our glorious Monarch Fonso. And it's a good thing Fonso didn't die, because I don't know who else I would trust to hit the victory lap rally and stun the Tracer so that I could pad my stats. I must have felt pretty accomplished after completing New Queen Street in 5 minutes, because on map 4, I put in less work than your academic advisor on Leif Erikson day. Like right here, I'm just admiring the feng shui of this tea shop when Hanzo pulls up, and I TP into the building to check out the matcha prices. This is insane positioning since we're up 2-1 and could close out the match right here, and because while I was taking the Nepali scenery, the squad is fighting a war on the high ground, where Private Watch steps onto the front lines and hits a shoe reenactment before putting on the JFK cosplay. Neo trades back before the Ram runs up on him as Fonso's defensive whip shot passes through his armpit and he kills our Bastion. Like, this shit went straight through him. Are you telling me Smart gapped him so hard last map he awoke as my Gekko Sharingan? After my union mandated break, I peel for Fonso and burn 2 clips in every cooldown to run down the Ram like a junkyard dog, seeing Happy's Pizza barbecue ribs and die in the process. Got mine though. After coming back, I start spectating the team fight like it's on IMAX when the voices start speaking to me once more. I attempt to push Bat Window and miss the TP, but the line doesn't let this stop him as I use Wraith to go through Window onto the whole squad. Your Honor, imagine how raw the play would have been if it worked out. I really feel bad for Smart here, because while fighting for his life in the thick of it like he KSI, he kites the window just to turn around and see his Reaper 1 trick engage the feed drive to warp speed. Watch knew this shit was cooked, because after seeing her Reaper run it the fuck down, she takes a walk to ponder just what I was cooking and stops healing. She don't even look back. That was a winnable fight too, because the Nano Annihilation got 2 even through the beat. I don't let this get to me, and the next fight I'm back making plays, TPing to collect a hit on the backline and goobing this Hanzo. I follow up by sliming out Lucio as Sojourn is forced to watch from the cuck chair. I thought Soj wouldn't be too mad about it though, because Watched F Kennedy peeks to gift them a free kill for the holidays, but the Soj is less grateful than a 10-year-old getting socks for Christmas, and takes Bastion's life as well, so I clear the area of nearby Grinches. We still end up losing the fight even with the Hanzo forgetting he's not Venture and can't escape artillery by digging into the map. Well, it's either that or he thought it would be a good time to run for president. I then miss another TP but still barely touch and 2-pump the Soj before B goes off. This allows Smart to clean up with Annihilation, and if we need any more Fonso Glaze, we also learn that they're a nice person, avoiding the Bat Mirror and switching to Zen for the second point defense, where I get put on a shirt by Sojourn before the fight even begins, and Neo gets pushed by Hanzo who pressures Watched, but she refuses to give up her angle, even taking a dragon for the cause. Fonso stalls long enough with Trank for me to come back, and I tank that same dragon before turning the corner to eviscerate the Hanzo, but this obviously isn't enough to hold the point, and next fight I int once more while looking for a Death Blossom. To close out the defense, I miss another TP and get my Blossom booped so bad I twist my ankle to end the half. Attack starts with Hanzo getting 3 kills from the same angle, but Smart bails us out of the first corner with a Venmo to the Lucio. Afterwards, me and Neo show up like we realized the syllabus said that attendance was mandatory, and that leads to us capping first. Next fight, they jump scare me so bad with B, I roll into the wall, and we all get run over like a chicken trying to cross a 16-lane Texas highway. This doesn't dissuade our Venture though, who commits to the flank, popping ult years after the war already ended like Hihiro Onoda. We try the flank ult again, but my fat High Noon gets lamped and Neo misses the drill dash, dying instantly. This second point was really tough, because while Smart's DPS are doing less than a GTA NPC, he marks the window angle, and the enemy Ram starts licking his lips looking at the supports alone on point. And with both of our carries dead, Elo Reaper beautifully repositions for the next fight, where Watched gets a buzzer beater for the most kiteable Ray of 2025. I can't blame her though, because the longer you wait to raid, the more time there is for one of the 2 hit scans to pick off your teammates, or the more time there is for your DPS to feed, as Neo tries to scoot past the backline like he sees someone he recognizes from school in public. Next fight starts with Smart getting DP'd from multiple angles with this, guys, a little help as positioning. Hey, I got mine though. I attempt a repeat performance and push in front of the whole team to die once more with OC. It's pretty much curtains, but Neo refuses to give up. Like bruh, let it go, move on to map 5, which was cinema, so peep game and lock in. New Junk City starts out with more of the same, that being the already obvious DPS chasm starting to turn astronomical when the Cass's aura forces me off the close angle, allowing Fonso to get picked. Right after, the Sim mind controls Watch to break turrets while exposed to the whole team, and then hits a jackpot spam kill. Meanwhile, I force a trade attempt but trip over my own shoelaces, and on the last fight hit the most disgusting C9 of the game by missing yet another TP. Like bro, you know the point only counts to 100, right? But it was this exact failure to touch the point that shifted the tides of the map, because while on the respawn screen, I decided to stop being a bum and take the cast mirror. And you would think I began to short BTC the way I started putting Belt to cast, and yet they still had no options. Even with a beat and annihilation, I still walk him like a dog before taking the buy one get one free deal. Neo chose to fight back as well, walking him down and reaping him to clean up our first point capture. Plus, you already know Fonso is locked in, dropping the fattest lamp since the Pixar intro, flattening Ram's pressure and opening a window of opportunity for Smart to roll the credits on this next fight as well. They use High Noon and Annihilation to retake, giving us the slight ult advantage for the final fight, but we still lose to go down 2-0 when Neo touches a good 10% too early and straight opens the fight with a 1v4 Death Blossom while the team is in another zip code. Now, I love when DPS have the confidence to actually make plays instead of merely attempting to put up decent stats, but you know a play is cooked if Jesus on Baptiste can't even save it. But with Fonso trading for the tank and Smart Ajaxing the Lucio, who drops the beat while staring at him charging spear, just how did we lose this fight? Well, Watch gets a little bit aggressive and Cass severely punishes that blunder, closing out the point with a 3k. Not wanting to be outdone, the Sim puts up a repeat performance next fight, but for whatever reason, though I'm guessing this reason was probably in USD, the Lucio tests Smart's gangster again and drops the beat in front of another javelin toss. Like if these jokes have some truth to them and there is some secret cabal paying main supports to throw FACEIT games, I just know that after this match, this Lucio was in another tax bracket, which is great news for the bouncers because I just know that this Cass's setup did not escape this flank unharmed. This Ajax was poorly timed too, because with Elo Reaper tapped in, hitting double dinks and assisting Neo with the cleanup, they lose both the fight and their sound barrier, which means it hardly matters that we dump ults to close the point. But it gets shice when the sim wall push separates Fonso before Watch beats. She already knew this shit was Jove and starts driving off to run some errands, like speeding us to the next fight, where Fonso drops a perfect window like the sheet of glass trope for me to kill 2 and retake the point. Next fight, Kiri valiantly TPs in and gets rolled in a spliff, baiting the nade I guess, but the strat doesn't work out and we win against Annihilation and Beat to even the economy and leave them scrambling to touch, which was pretty ironic because it looked like Smart was working security the way he stopped the bouncer's tank from even entering the premises. And wait a second, who'd their tank swap to? Even after taking us off the final points guest list, the sheer presence of Smart's Reinhardt Gaming strikes fear into the sim, who freezes up with a TP like he fumbling with his car keys. And I think all these dinks are getting to the sim, because this TP can only be explained by CTE. You already saw what happened to Kiri when she tried it. And speaking of the devil, Kiri gets solo blossom for a second time by a second player as Zarya is killed with hammers before the TP can save her. So even with Sim trading with a right click snipe, it's over. The team cleans up and we secure the mini reverse sweep for the map 5 win. And those are my best and worst plays of my Overwatch team's FACEIT match. Until next time, peace out.